Have you ever popped a daily vitamin, thinking it was your secret weapon for a longer, healthier life, only to realize it might be silently priming your brain for disaster? I'm Dr. Your Name, a board-certified neurologist with over 2 decades battling strokes in the ER, and even I was floored when new research hit my desk showing how this one common vitamin can spike your stroke risk overnight, especially if you're over 60 and chasing senior health goals like better energy and sharper memory. Picture this, a simple pill, trusted by millions, disrupting your blood vessels in hours, turning a peaceful retirement dream into a nightmare of slurred speech, paralysis, and heartbroken families. It's happening right now, and the scariest part? Most doctors aren't warning you yet. But stick with me until the end, because I'll not only unmask this hidden culprit and break down the science in plain English, but I'll hand you 3 game-changing, doctor-tested swaps to slash that risk by up to 40% today, so you can protect your independence and wake up tomorrow without that gnawing fear. Your brain deserves this wake-up call, and your loved ones will thank you for it. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. What you might not realize about this everyday supplement could transform a peaceful, restorative night's sleep into a life-altering crisis lurking just beneath the surface. You've likely come across the glowing praises for vitamin D, how it fortifies your bones against the fragility of age, lifts your spirits on those tougher days, and even bolsters your body's defenses against illness. And yes, all of that holds water when consumed in sensible, balanced amounts. But here's a critical truth that flies under the radar for so many seniors, one that's rarely whispered in doctors' offices or splashed across supplement labels. Excessive vitamin D, particularly if you're popping it right before bedtime, can stealthily elevate your chances of suffering a devastating stroke. I understand how jarring that revelation might feel at first. It's the kind of information that appends what we've been conditioned to believe about health boosters. Yet, as a healthcare professional who's witnessed these scenarios unfold firsthand in my practice, I can assure you it's all too real. Let me paint a vivid picture with the story of one of my patients, Mr. Walter Jenkins, a 74-year-old retired Navy veteran whose life embodied resilience and routine. Walter was the epitome of discipline, a man who rose with the dawn, maintained a meticulous exercise regimen of brisk walks around his neighborhood park, and approached his wellness with the precision of a military drill. Every single morning, without fail, he'd stand at his kitchen counter, methodically arranging his lineup of supplements like soldiers in formation. Among them was a hefty 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule he'd picked up at his local pharmacy's over-the-counter aisle. In his mind, this was his shield against osteoporosis, a proactive step to keep his frame strong well into his golden years, especially after years of sun-scarce deployments had left him concerned about deficiencies. What Walter, and countless others like him, couldn't have foreseen was that this well-intentioned daily ritual was gradually steering his robust body toward an insidious catastrophe, one that built up silently over months without a single alarm bell. Then, one crisp autumn morning, his devoted wife of 52 years, Margaret, stirred awake to an unsettling quiet in their home. She found Walter slumped in his armchair, his sharp blue eyes clouded with bewilderment. Words tumbled from his lips in a garbled, incoherent stream, as if his once commanding voice had been muffled by fog. His right arm dangled uselessly at his side, unresponsive to his frantic mental commands. It was a classic ischemic stroke, striking with the ferocity of a sudden ambush, robbing him of speech, mobility on one side, and the independence he'd cherished. When we rushed him to the hospital and ran his diagnostics, the results painted a stark picture. Sky-high calcium levels flooding his bloodstream, arteries rigid and calcified like brittle pipes on the verge of rupture, and blood pressure spiking erratically in chaotic surges. The undeniable perpetrator? Vitamin D toxicity, a condition that sneaks up on you because its symptoms masquerade as everyday aches or fatigue until it's too late. Here's the science broken down simply. When you overload your system with high doses of vitamin D, especially without the oversight of regular blood tests or a doctor's tailored recommendation, your body goes into overdrive, ramping up its absorption and activation of calcium from your diet and bones. This floods your bloodstream with excess calcium, a mineral your system suddenly has far too much of to handle efficiently. Confused and overwhelmed, your body doesn't flush it out. Instead, it deposits this surplus into soft tissues where it doesn't belong, particularly the walls of your arteries. Over time, these vessels calcify, losing their natural elasticity and narrowing like clogged drains, which drastically impairs blood flow. And in that compromised network, the stage is set for a thrombus, a treacherous blood clot, to form and break free, embarking on a perilous journey that often culminates in the delicate corridors of your brain, triggering a stroke that can erase memories, shatter coordination, or silence speech in an instant. Aging compounds this vulnerability in ways that are easy to overlook. As we cross into our later decades, our arteries inherently stiffen due to decades of wear, hormonal shifts, and cumulative inflammation, a natural but unforgiving progression. Layer on top of that the subtle saboteurs so common in senior life. Mild dehydration from forgetting that extra glass of water, fragmented sleep disrupted by nocturia or joint discomfort, and the untimely jolt of a calcium surge hitting your system during those vulnerable nighttime hours when your body's repair mechanisms are in low gear. Together, they brew a perfect storm, amplifying the odds of vascular mayhem. What's truly chilling about vitamin D overload is its deceptive silence. No pounding headaches, no dizzy spells to tip you off, no dramatic chest pains demanding attention. You tuck yourself into bed after a satisfying dinner and a chapter of your favorite novel, feeling utterly at ease, only to awaken, if you're fortunate, to a reality irrevocably altered, where simple joys like buttoning a shirt or recounting a joke become Herculean feats. And if that doesn't give you pause, consider this overlooked detail that catches so many off guard. A staggering number of over-the-counter vitamin D supplements flooding shelves across the United States are formulated with doses that soar far beyond what most older adults truly require for maintenance, especially if they're not grappling with a confirmed deficiency. We're talking bottles boasting 5,000 IU, 8,000 IU, or even that 10,000 IU powerhouse Walter favored. Megadoses marketed with promises of vitality that tempt folks into a more is always better mindset, echoing outdated bodybuilding lore rather than evidence-based geriatrics. Yet, rigorous clinical studies, including those from the National Institutes of Health, underscore a sobering reality. For seniors without a diagnosed shortfall, even a modest 2,000 IU per day can tip the scales toward excess over time, particularly when sunlight exposure or fortified foods already contribute to your intake. Let me drive this home with unflinching clarity. If vitamin D is part of your regimen, whether solo or stacked alongside calcium supplements that amplify absorption, or intertwined with heart-protective meds like statins or antihypertensives that alter how your body processes minerals, it's non-negotiable to monitor your serum levels through routine blood work, ideally every 6 months or as your physician advises. And timing matters profoundly. Always opt for morning administration with your breakfast, when your digestive fire is at its peak and your circadian rhythm aligns to metabolize it safely, steering clear of evening doses that could unleash that calcium cascade during your restorative hours. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Have you paused lately to scrutinize the label on your own bottle? What's the IU count staring back at you? And if this eye-opener has prompted even a flicker of reevaluation in your routine, hit that like button to propel this message into more feeds, potentially safeguarding a friend or family member from the same fate. But hold on, because if the vitamin D disclosure left you reeling, brace yourself for the sequel. The very next nutrient on our list is a staple many swear by for cardiovascular wellness. Yet, for those of us over 60, it harbors a peril that eclipses even the threat of a clot, the harrowing specter of a brain hemorrhage. Let's dive into vitamin E. Vitamin E, affectionately dubbed the heart's faithful ally in wellness circles, has earned its spot in countless medicine cabinets for good reason, or so it seems. If you've been faithfully incorporating it into your daily protocol for years, rest assured you're in excellent company. Surveys show that upwards of 40% of adults over 60 weave this antioxidant powerhouse into their arsenal, drawn by its touted perks for nurturing heart function, enhancing peripheral circulation to ward off chilly extremities, and even extending a gentle hand to cognitive sharpness and that ever-elusive youthful glow for the skin. It's the quiet guardian against oxidative stress, the free radical scavenger that promises to keep your engine purring smoothly into retirement. But lurking in the fine print, or more often, absent entirely from those glossy bottle labels, is a sobering caveat that could rewrite your supplement strategy overnight. In excess, particularly when it mingles with a cocktail of pharmaceuticals so many of us rely on for cardiac care, vitamin E can dramatically heighten the odds of a cerebral hemorrhage, a bleed within the brain's fragile confines that strikes without mercy. And this isn't some remote hypothetical. It can ambush even the most vigilant among us, those who've dotted every I and crossed every T in their health playbook. Allow me to share a narrative etched indelibly in my memory, one that unfolded with heartbreaking swiftness. Meet Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, an 81-year-old retired librarian from the quaint college town of Athens, Ohio, whose life was a tapestry of intellectual curiosity and quiet elegance. Evelyn was a force, her wit as incisive as ever, her conversations laced with literary allusions drawn from the stacks she'd curated for decades, and her hands perpetually cradling a worn paperback or tending to her herb garden. Afflicted with a finicky heart valve that demanded vigilant management, she was prescribed warfarin, the gold standard blood thinner that keeps clots at bay for millions. Her cardiologist and I collaborated seamlessly on her oversight. Quarterly blood draws confirmed her INR levels danced in the therapeutic sweet spot. Her blood pressure held steady like a well-tuned metronome, and lifestyle tweaks like low-sodium meals and gentle yoga kept her humming along. Everything appeared airtight until one idle afternoon, leafing through a glossy magazine in her doctor's waiting room, Evelyn's I caught a full-page ad for a premium natural vitamin E sourced from wheat germ oil, extolling its virtues for mental acuity and vascular vitality. Intrigued and ever the seeker of self-optimization, she swung by the health store on her way home and snagged a bottle promising 800 IU per soft gel, more than triple the standard serving. I figured it couldn't hurt, she confided to me later with a rueful smile, and maybe it'd sharpen my recall for those Tolstoy passages that slipped my mind. For the next 3 weeks, she integrated it seamlessly into her mornings, oblivious to the molecular melee brewing beneath. Then, catastrophe descended. She awoke to a thunderous headache that felt like a vice clamping her temples, her vision blurring at the edges, and waves of nausea that sent her stumbling to the bathroom. By the time paramedics wheeled her into the ER, confusion had woven through her thoughts like a fog, unraveling the articulate woman we'd all known. The CT scan delivered the gut-wrenching verdict: a hemorrhagic stroke, with fresh blood pooling in the delicate white matter of her brain, compressing vital pathways and igniting chaos. This wasn't the fallout of uncontrolled hypertension or a slippery bathroom tile. No, the trigger was far more insidious. The synergistic clash between her steady warfarin regimen and those unchecked high-dose vitamin E capsules had supercharged her blood's fluidity to perilous extremes, rendering it all but incapable of coagulating when needed. A single, gossamer-thin vessel in her brain, stressed by years of graceful aging, simply surrendered under the onslaught, unleashing a torrent that no amount of quick thinking could contain. What eludes so many in the rush of supplement aisles is this: at elevated intakes, vitamin E doesn't just neutralize harm. It exerts a potent anticoagulant influence, mimicking the effects of prescription thinners by inhibiting platelet aggregation and prolonging bleeding times. Stack that atop daily staples like low-dose aspirin for arthritis twinges, Plavix post-stent placement, or any of the anticoagulant arsenal, Coumadin, Eliquis, Xarelto, and you're unwittingly amplifying your hemorrhage hazard, with the brain's intricate, pressure-sensitive vasculature emerging as ground zero. Even a modest seep there can cascade into profound losses. Slurred words dissolving into aphasia, cherished recollections dissolving into voids, or legs that refuse their ancient partnership with your will, confining you to wheels or walls. And here's the kicker that underscores the urgency. The recommended dietary allowance for vitamin E in older adults hovers at a modest 15 milligrams per day, equivalent to roughly 22 international units, a whisper compared to the 400 IU or 800 IU behemoths hawking extra strength on store shelves. Despite the widespread availability of dietary supplements, many products on store shelves contain significantly higher doses of vitamins than are safe for long-term use, often without adequate warnings or guidance for consumers. For example, capsules containing 200, 400, or even 1000 IU of certain vitamins are common, yet these products rarely come with clear instructions to consult a healthcare professional before use. Many individuals, particularly older adults, take these supplements daily for years, unaware of the potential risks. A poignant example is Mrs. Evelyn, a 68-year-old retiree who suffered severe consequences from excessive vitamin intake. After years of taking high-dose supplements, she experienced a brain bleed, a life-altering event that left her reliant on a cane for mobility and struggling with short-term memory loss. Through tears, she shared her regret. "I just wanted to take care of my health. I had no idea I was causing harm." Her story is far from unique. Many seniors operate under the misconception that all vitamins are inherently safe, especially when marketed as natural or beneficial for aging. However, the reality is far more complex. Certain vitamins, particularly when combined with medications for heart conditions or blood pressure, can pose serious risks. Consulting a doctor before introducing any new supplement is critical to avoid dangerous interactions or cumulative toxicity. The dangers extend beyond well-known vitamins like D or C to others that are often marketed for specific health benefits, such as nerve support or energy enhancement. One such vitamin is B6, frequently touted as a brain booster or nerve support nutrient in supplements sold at pharmacies and online retailers. These products often claim to improve energy levels, sharpen focus, or enhance memory, appealing promises, especially for aging adults concerned about cognitive decline or neuropathy. However, what many seniors are not told is that excessive vitamin B6 can cause significant, sometimes irreversible, nerve damage. Consider the case of Mr. Harold Jenkins, a 76-year-old retired truck driver from Kansas. For over a year, he had been taking a nerve support formula, believing it would help maintain his cognitive health and improve circulation. He began experiencing troubling symptoms: numbness in his feet, tingling in his hands, and worsening balance. Initially, he attributed these issues to natural aging. However, his condition deteriorated, leading to multiple falls, including a dangerous incident where he struck his head on the bathroom floor. Upon reviewing his supplement regimen, the problem became clear. Each tablet of his supplement contained 100 milligrams of vitamin B6, and he was taking 2 tablets daily, totaling 200 milligrams, over 10 times the safe upper limit for older adults, which is approximately 20 milligrams per day. Unlike water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C, which are excreted in urine, vitamin B6 accumulates in the body over time, particularly in older adults whose metabolic processes are less efficient. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Excessive B6 can damage the myelin sheath, the protective coating around nerves, akin to stripping insulation from an electrical wire. This damage manifests as peripheral neuropathy, characterized by symptoms such as tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, tremors, and, in severe cases, confusion or memory problems. These symptoms often develop gradually, leading many to mistakenly attribute them to arthritis, general aging, or even early dementia. Tragically, if not addressed early, B6 toxicity can result in permanent nerve damage. In Mr. Jenkins' case, discontinuing the supplement halted the progression of his symptoms, but the damage was already done. He now relies on a cane for stability and can no longer drive, a significant loss of independence. Reflecting on his experience, he said, "I thought I was protecting my brain, but I was poisoning it instead." The recommended daily intake of vitamin B6 for older adults is modest, between 2 and 10 milligrams, much of which can be obtained from a balanced diet including foods like poultry, fish, and whole grains. Yet, many supplements marketed for brain health or nerve support contain doses of 50, 100, or even 200 milligrams per serving, posing a significant risk when taken consistently over time. To protect yourself, always check the label of any supplement claiming to support nerve health, energy, or cognitive function, and discuss it with your healthcare provider. Equally concerning is the misconception that all vitamins are benign, even those associated with seemingly straightforward benefits like improved eyesight. Vitamin A, for instance, is widely recognized for its role in maintaining vision, supporting the immune system, and promoting healthy skin. Many older adults take it in the belief that it will help them age gracefully. However, excessive vitamin A intake can have devastating consequences, particularly for those over 60. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, vitamin A is fat-soluble, meaning it is stored in the body's liver, fat tissues, and even the brain, rather than being flushed out. As we age, the liver's ability to process and eliminate excess vitamin A diminishes, leading to faster accumulation and a higher risk of toxicity. A striking example is Ms. Dorothy Simmons, a 79-year-old retired piano teacher from Oregon who prided herself on her independence and love of music. For over 5 years, she had been taking a high-dose supplement marketed for skin and eye health, which delivered nearly 10,000 IU of vitamin A daily, far exceeding the recommended daily allowance of 2,300 to 3,000 IU for older adults. She began experiencing persistent headaches, followed by blurred vision, dizziness, and slurred speech. Her family, fearing a stroke, rushed her to the hospital. Diagnostic imaging revealed no clot or hemorrhage but instead showed elevated intracranial pressure, a condition where excessive pressure builds up within the skull, stressing the brain and its delicate blood vessels. The culprit? Vitamin A toxicity. This condition, known as pseudotumor cerebri, mimics the symptoms of a brain tumor, including debilitating headaches, double or blurred vision, dizziness, nausea, and, in severe cases, permanent vision loss or cognitive impairment. Ms. Simmons' spinal fluid was backing up, putting dangerous pressure on her brain. The tragedy lies in how easily this could have been prevented. Many multivitamins already provide the full recommended dose of vitamin A, yet individuals like Ms. Simmons unknowingly exceed safe levels by adding specialized eye health, skin health, or anti-aging supplements. Over time, this excess can lead to irreversible damage. For older adults, the risks are compounded by age-related declines in liver function and the potential for interactions with medications. To avoid these dangers, it's essential to read supplement labels carefully, account for vitamin A from all sources, including fortified foods like dairy or cereals, and consult a doctor before starting any new regimen. The stories of Mrs. Evelyn, Mr. Jenkins, and Ms. Simmons underscore a critical message. Vitamins, while essential in small amounts, are not universally safe, especially for older adults or those on medications. Supplements are often marketed with vague promises of health and vitality, but without proper oversight, they can lead to serious harm. Always check the dosage on supplement labels, be aware of cumulative intake from multiple sources, and prioritize open communication with your healthcare provider to ensure your regimen is safe and effective. If you or someone you know is taking supplements for nerve, brain, or eye health, take a moment to review the ingredients and dosages. Your health may depend on it. As we age, maintaining our health becomes a delicate balancing act, especially when it comes to supplements like vitamins, which are often marketed as a quick fix for everything from bone strength to brain health. While vitamins can play a vital role in addressing deficiencies, taking them in excessively high doses, particularly without medical oversight, can lead to unintended and sometimes severe consequences. For older adults, whose bodies process nutrients differently than they did in their younger years, the stakes are even higher. Let's explore this issue through the lens of two common vitamins, vitamin D and niacin, vitamin B3, and the real-life stories of individuals who learned the hard way about the risks of oversupplementation. More importantly, we'll discuss how to nourish your brain and body safely with whole foods, which provide a balanced and natural approach to health. The hidden dangers of vitamin D overdose. Vitamin D is often hailed as the sunshine vitamin, essential for strong bones, immune health, and even mood regulation. For seniors, who may have limited sun exposure or reduced ability to synthesize vitamin D naturally, supplementation can seem like a logical choice. However, there's a critical distinction between meeting your body's needs and overloading it with megadoses that can cause harm. The safe upper limit for vitamin D in older adults is generally considered to be 2,500 to 3,000 IU, international units, per day, and even this amount should only be taken under medical supervision to address a confirmed deficiency. Blood tests, such as those measuring 25-hydroxyvitamin D levels, are essential to determine whether supplementation is necessary and in what dosage. Unfortunately, many over-the-counter supplements sold online or in stores contain far higher doses, 5,000 IU, 10,000 IU, or even more per serving. These products are often marketed with bold claims about boosting immunity or preventing cognitive decline, but they rarely warn about the risks of long-term overuse. When taken daily at such high doses for months or years, vitamin D can accumulate in the body, leading to a condition called hypervitaminosis D. This toxic buildup can cause a range of symptoms, from nausea and fatigue to more serious issues like kidney damage, heart rhythm abnormalities, and even neurological complications. Let me share the story of Ms. Dorothy Thompson, a 78-year-old retiree from Ohio, to illustrate the real-world impact of this issue. Ms., a vibrant grandmother who loved gardening and volunteering at her local library, started taking a high-potency vitamin D supplement she found online. The label promised optimal bone and brain health, and at 10,000 IU per capsule, she thought it was a small price to pay for staying active and sharp. She took one capsule daily for over a year, unaware that she was exceeding safe levels by a wide margin. Over time, she began experiencing troubling symptoms: persistent dizziness, difficulty maintaining her balance, and blurred vision. At first, she attributed these changes to aging or stress, but when she visited her doctor, routine blood work revealed dangerously high levels of calcium in her blood, a condition called hypercalcemia, caused by excessive vitamin D. The excess vitamin D had caused calcium to build up in her bloodstream, which in turn affected her brain, eyes, and nervous system. Her doctor explained that this overload was putting strain on her kidneys and could have led to irreversible damage if left unchecked. Ms. was devastated. "I thought I was doing something good for my body," she told me, her voice trembling. "I never imagined it could hurt my brain." Ms.'s recovery has been slow but steady. She stopped taking the high-dose supplement immediately and worked with her doctor to bring her vitamin D levels back into a safe range. Now, she requires regular eye exams to monitor for vision changes, blood pressure checks to ensure her cardiovascular system is stable, and balance therapy to regain her confidence in walking without fear of falling. Her story is a sobering reminder that even vitamins, which many assume are harmless, can pose significant risks when taken carelessly. It's not about scaring anyone away from supplements. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to make informed choices that protect your health and independence. The risks of niacin, vitamin B3, and heart health supplements. If the risks of vitamin D were surprising, the potential dangers of niacin, also known as vitamin B3, might be even more alarming. Niacin is widely promoted for its ability to support heart health by lowering bad LDL cholesterol and raising good HDL cholesterol. It's commonly found in prescription medications, over-the-counter heart health supplements, energy drinks, and fortified foods like cereals. For decades, niacin has been a go-to recommendation for some doctors and health enthusiasts alike. However, what's often overlooked, especially for older adults, is the potential for high doses of niacin to cause serious side effects, including dangerous fluctuations in blood pressure that can harm the heart and brain. Let's meet Mr. Frank Miller, an 82-year-old retired postman from Florida, whose experience with niacin underscores the importance of reading labels and consulting healthcare providers. Frank was a health-conscious individual who prided himself on staying active, walking his neighborhood every morning, and keeping up with his grandchildren. When he read about niacin's benefits for cholesterol and circulation, he decided to try an over-the-counter, heart-healthy supplement he found at a local health store. The front of the bottle boasted claims like, "supports cholesterol and circulation," which sounded perfect for his goal of maintaining cardiovascular health. What he didn't notice was the fine print on the back. Each serving contained 1,000 milligrams of niacin, and Frank was taking 2 servings a day, totaling 2,000 milligrams. Over 60 times the recommended daily allowance for most seniors, which is around 14 to 16 milligrams for men and women over 50. Frank began experiencing a perplexing array of symptoms. Hot flashes across his face, a pounding sensation in his chest, and intermittent dizziness that was most severe in the mornings. His wife, Susan, thought it might be anxiety, while his son suspected a reaction to Frank's blood pressure medication. But when Frank visited his doctor, a thorough review of his supplement regimen revealed the true culprit: the high-dose niacin in his heart health supplement. Here's what happens when you take niacin in excessive amounts. Niacin causes blood vessels to dilate rapidly, leading to the characteristic niacin flush, a warm, red, sometimes itchy sensation on the skin. While this flush is uncomfortable, the real danger comes afterward, when the blood vessels constrict just as quickly. This rapid constriction can cause a sudden spike in blood pressure, putting stress on the heart and reducing blood flow to critical organs like the brain. Over time, this yo-yo effect on blood vessels acts like a hammer repeatedly striking fragile glass, increasing the risk of serious complications. In Frank's case, the high doses of niacin triggered a transient ischemic attack, TIA, often referred to as a mini-stroke. One morning, his speech became slurred for about 2 minutes before returning to normal. He dismissed it as a fluke, but his doctor recognized it as a warning sign of reduced blood flow to the brain. Tests confirmed that the niacin supplement was contributing to dangerous blood pressure fluctuations, which had stressed his cardiovascular system to the breaking point. "Doc, I thought I was doing everything right," Frank said, shaking his head. "I didn't know I was gambling with my brain." Frank's story is not unique. Many seniors unknowingly take high-dose niacin, often in forms labeled as flush-free or extended release, believing these versions are safer. However, even these formulations can elevate blood pressure, disrupt heart rhythms, such as atrial fibrillation, and affect blood sugar levels, particularly in older adults with pre-existing conditions like hypertension or diabetes. For seniors, the safe upper limit for niacin is generally around 50 milligrams per day, and anything above this should only be taken under medical supervision. If you're on blood pressure medications, statins, or other heart-related treatments, It's especially critical to check the niacin content of your supplements and fortified foods. Frank has since discontinued the niacin supplement and is working with his doctor to manage his cholesterol through lifestyle changes and safer alternatives. Fortunately, he suffered no permanent damage from the TIA, but his experience serves as a powerful reminder to always read labels, question bold marketing claims, and consult with a healthcare provider before starting any supplement. A safer path. Nourishing your brain with whole foods. By now, you may be wondering, if vitamins like D and niacin can pose such risks, what's the safest way to support my brain and overall health? The answer lies not in a pill bottle but in your kitchen. Your body, and especially your brain, was designed to thrive on whole, natural foods that provide nutrients in balanced, bioavailable forms. Unlike supplements, which can deliver isolated nutrients in unnaturally high doses, whole foods offer a symphony of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other compounds that work together to nourish your body without overwhelming it. Let's meet Mrs. Margaret Wilson, a 73-year-old retired school principal from Arizona, whose journey illustrates the transformative power of real food. When I first met Maggie, she proudly showed me a drawer overflowing with supplements. Vitamin D for her bones, vitamin E for her heart, a B-complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin for general health, and a few others marketed for brain support. She was convinced she was doing everything right to stay healthy and independent. Yet, she was struggling with morning dizziness, unsteady balance, and climbing blood pressure, symptoms that didn't align with her otherwise active lifestyle. After a thorough evaluation, it became clear that Maggie's supplement regimen was creating more problems than it was solving. Many of her supplements contained overlapping ingredients, leading to excessive doses of certain vitamins, while others interacted with her medications. We decided to take a bold step. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we phased out the supplements and replaced them with a diet centered on whole, nutrient-rich foods. This wasn't about following a trendy diet or a restrictive plan. It was about returning to simple, recognizable foods that her body could use effectively. Maggie's new breakfast became a model of brain-healthy eating. 1 boiled egg for high-quality protein to support muscle and brain function, half an avocado for monounsaturated fats that promote healthy blood flow, a slice of whole grain toast for slow-releasing carbohydrates to stabilize blood sugar, a handful of blueberries packed with antioxidants to combat inflammation and oxidative stress, and a glass of room-temperature water to hydrate her brain and body. On some days, she added a small handful of walnuts or almonds, which are rich in vitamin E and magnesium, nutrients essential for cognitive health. This simple meal was satisfying, easy to prepare, and free from the risks associated with high-dose supplements. Within just a few weeks, Maggie noticed remarkable changes. Her morning dizziness faded, her balance improved, and her blood pressure stabilized without the need for additional medication. Most importantly, she reported feeling mentally sharper and more energized than she had in years. "It's like a fog lifted from my mind," she told me, her eyes bright with renewed confidence. Why did this approach work so well? Your brain thrives on a steady supply of hydration, healthy fats, consistent energy, and micronutrients in their natural forms. Unlike supplements, which can overload your system with isolated compounds, whole foods provide a balanced array of nutrients that your body can absorb and utilize efficiently. For older adults, some of the best brain-supporting foods include leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, which are rich in folate, vitamin K, and antioxidants that protect brain cells from oxidative damage. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines, which provide omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA, that support brain cell membranes and reduce inflammation. Berries such as blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries contain polyphenol that combat inflammation and improve cognitive function. Nuts and seeds, especially walnuts, almonds, and chia seeds, which deliver vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy fats to support memory and mood. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice provide steady energy to maintain stable blood sugar and support healthy blood flow to the brain. Legumes like lentils and chickpeas offer fiber, protein, and B vitamins to support energy metabolism and nerve health. These foods don't just benefit your brain, they also support your heart, bones, mood, and mobility, creating a holistic approach to aging well. By eating a variety of whole foods, you're not just nourishing your body, you're healing it with every bite. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. The power of awareness. Your best defense. The stories of Ms., Mr. Frank, and Mrs. Maggie highlight a critical truth. At 60, 70, or 80, your body processes nutrients differently than it did in your 30s or 40s. What worked decades ago may now pose risks, especially when it comes to supplements. The good news is that you don't need to fear vitamins. You just need to respect them. Awareness is your most powerful tool for protecting your health and independence. Here are some practical steps to stay safe and informed. 1. Consult your doctor before starting supplements. Always discuss new supplements with your healthcare provider, especially if you have chronic conditions or take medications. Blood tests can confirm whether you have a deficiency that requires supplementation. 2. Read labels carefully. Check the dosage of active ingredients in supplements and fortified foods. Look for terms like high potency or megadose, which may indicate unsafe levels for daily use. 3. Prioritize whole foods. Focus on a varied diet rich in colorful fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains. These foods provide nutrients your body can handle safely. 4. Stay hydrated. Adequate hydration is essential for brain health, as even mild dehydration can impair cognitive function. Aim for water and hydrating foods like cucumbers, oranges, and soups. 5. Monitor for symptoms. Be alert for signs like dizziness, fatigue, or changes in blood pressure, which could indicate an issue with supplements or underlying health conditions. The choices you make today, whether it's the foods you eat, the supplements you take, or the questions you ask your doctor, have a profound impact on your health tomorrow. By prioritizing awareness and whole foods, you can protect your brain, preserve your independence, and age with vitality. As Maggie put it, I don't need a drawer full of pills anymore. I've got my kitchen, and that's enough. And there you have it, your wake-up call to rethink that innocent-looking vitamin bottle and take charge of your stroke risk before it's too late. Because in the world of senior health, knowledge like this isn't just power, it's protection for the life you've worked so hard to build. What have you learned so far that hit you the hardest? The shocking speed of how this vitamin raises stroke risk overnight, the heartbreaking patient stories, or those 3 simple swaps to safeguard your brain? Drop a comment below right now. Share one key takeaway you're committing to practice in your daily life today. Whether it's ditching that supplement or chatting with your doc about your senior health routine, your story could save someone else's tomorrow. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more brain-saving truths from the front lines. See you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay safe.